Welcome to Dollhouse, my friends. We are here. Uh, we're here this Monday evening for another episode of Beyond the NFT. Just want to give, shout outs to every single one of you. Of course, first three shout outs go to Oddjob, Billy T Coin, and CK Bubbles for hosting the event that took place right before this one, the ABC Decentraland Tours. Mew loves you, and please keep it going. Everyone loves those tours, and I love watching even myself while I'm working on the background, getting this show ready. So keep doing your thing. um, Big shout out to Brittany. I see Billy right here. Let's see, who else do we have in the building? We have old guy rocking his Mew. We even have Tang Poco with her Mew out. This is like an epic moment here. Like the first metaverse. Oh God, I broke the camera again. we Bro, we have the first Decentraland supermodel rocking my wearable right now. Like this is like this
Oh,
is G
nice.
this is G shit right now, man. We got police in the building. We have Erie M, Jim Cedric, old guy. What's up, Gaia? Welcome, man, dude. A big shout out to CJ Tracks. We got Hankos in the back taking pictures. Toxic waifu. Then we have On the Rise over here with her Mew bubble. Welcome all, welcome, and thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your time. If you're watching from any streaming platforms, we are currently at Dollhouse on Decentraland, coordinates -100, -100. Please jump in and enjoy the show. Now, without further delay, I would like to introduce retired MMA fighter, martial arts coach, and founder of Bucktown MMA. It is a great pleasure to welcome Jay Isip to the stage. How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me on your show. Even though I was a nervous wreck all day, well, all weekend since you messaged me.
Oh man, no need to be nervous.
hmm
These are chill shows, very chill shows.
Yeah.
And thank you. Really appreciate you for taking the time to be here this evening. Usually, I'd like to start the show off by passing it over to my guest and, giving you the opportunity to give yourself a proper introduction, as well as even give any shout outs to anyone in the crowd that you may see. Mike is yours.
Uh, I think you did a pretty good job of introducing me. My name is Jay Isip. Um, I've been in Decentraland for about a year and a half to 2 years now, and just been exploring this place and seeing how cool everybody's building and creating in this space and how much it's evolved. Uh, I've been in the NFT space for about 2 years as well, just kind of collecting and finding different communities. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't. If you ask me questions, I might do a little better. But as of now, that's all I got.
Bro, I mean, there's just so much. Like,
I know that's the problem. I
bro.
don't know how to have a formal introduction for myself ever. It's like when people ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I don't even know. I
Toxic
don't even know how to
waifu.
answer that.
Toxic waifu says, "Don't be shy. We are all hyped for today's episode."
All right, awesome, awesome.
Yep. Currently,
I'm glad to be here.
we have 9 people watching on Twitch. We have like I want to say like 15, 20 here in world with us. Let me get the
Awesome.
accurate numbers instead of talking out of my ass here. Let's get the actual numbers. We have 18, 17 individuals at Dollhouse.
All right.
And actually, like, it seems like the Twitch numbers changing, so we got more than we just mentioned. We're all here and so happy to to get to know you a little better.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is my first time interviewing a retired MMA fighter. So like
Okay.
I'm a fight fan, so like
Oh, all right.
I was pretty like excited about this one. So I mean, let's start off with kind of like your early MMA life. How did you get into
Ooh.
how did you get into fighting? And what were like some of the first forms of fighting that you learned?
Um, well, training martial arts, literally first grade, like karate, and then I went to jujitsu, and then I went to ninjutsu, and I did some other, I did some Filipino martial arts with stick fighting, and then when I got to high school, it was wrestling, and that's where I really felt, this was it, because you get to do, you get matches, you have one-on-one combats, and you actually get to test your skills, right? So as far as high school wrestling, once that was over, I didn't go to college or anything like that. That's a whole nother story. But I went right into fighting after high school, which was in 2000, 2001. So
Okay.
fighting, yeah,
You,
I just
so
started training. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, like right after wrestling, I just started training different arts. I started training jujitsu, Muay Thai, Western style boxing. Because at that time you need to, some people do specialize in certain arts, but you still need to understand and have a basis of, a good stand-up fight, a good wrestling game, a good ground game. You have to be an all-around fighter to be an MMA fighter. It's not just a one-dimensional fight where you're just under you're under a bigger, a smaller rule set to say, for combat athletes, for combat sports. So you have to know different arts and you have to develop different styles in order
Mm-hmm.
to stay competitive.
Mm-hmm. So from getting into jujitsu first and then going into high school and getting into wrestling, did you have like an advantage over like the individual that was just getting into wrestling first year wrestlers, or could you like hang with individuals that were wrestling like in middle school or yeah before high school?
Oh yeah, definitely gave me an edge, and it still does. The sport of wrestling is definitely a dominant art that uh that you can see if you watch fighting, that you need to know wrestling, right? You need to take people down, because if you're getting punched in the face or you're getting kicked in the head, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to take this guy down, right? You're going to have to try to take this guy down. You go to the ground, it's a whole different fight.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely had a little bit of an edge in earlier in my career, as far as amateurs. I was undefeated as an amateur, but and then when I got to pro, I kind of got a rude awakening, So
Mm.
the wrestling only took me so far.
Yep.
Also, like the gyms we were training at, there were very few at the time, and the instruction was good, but it wasn't great,
Mm.
right? Like everybody was still kind of learning during those days,
Yep.
where in the early stages it was a lot of sparring, a lot of hard
Mm-hmm.
sparring, a lot of hard fighting,
Yeah.
where the training was extremely rigorous compared to now, where athletes are smarter and they train smarter. They don't spar
Yes.
as hard, they focus more on technique and all the other assets that develop a great athlete or a great fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we would just put our mouthpiece in and just punch each other in the head for like 6 days in a row. And, that that wasn't that was fun though. It was fun to say the least, but I would definitely never ever the kids I coach now, I'd never ever put them through the training that I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So like myself, I kind of personally I started watching UFC around let's see, I think I was like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, like around 2006 time. Of course, I only knew
Okay.
like as a kid, I only knew like the top dogs at that time: Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Cain
Oh
Velasquez,
yeah.
freaking legends. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, dude, you make a like big point there on kind of like how the sport has evolved. Like back then it was like the toughest guy got out there, you could do a superman punch and like be successful,
Yeah.
then it started getting like shifting into, as more professionals came into the UFC, like undefeated like champions in different like forms of martial arts, it started getting a lot more technical. Chuck Liddell couldn't land those Superman punches as easily anymore, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. You
So
know,
go ahead.
that's why you have to be able to adapt and be able to do everything now. Especially the young kids growing up, they're so athletic, it's insane. Sometimes I see these kids doing like spinning kicks and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, I can't even understand how athletic these kids are now. But that's how the sport evolves. When they grow up as children, they start earlier, right? They start
Mhm,
earlier, they wrestle earlier, they start practicing
mhm,
the moves that they see, and instructors such as myself get older and have
mhm.
been through the rough, right? And
Yep.
the mistakes you made, not to teach those mistakes, or there's a lot of things you learn, and the knowledge and wisdom you develop over this experience from training, getting in that cage and winning, losing, the whole thing. And it's not just the physical part, I feel the physical part is not even nearly as close as the mental. The mental game is so tough, right? That's something hard to develop
Mhm.
if especially if you don't have the right people around you, or if you're not in your right head, and then especially when I started fighting, um I will say, like, my mental game just really held me back. And back then there was no real solutions, right? Like, there was like sports doctors, sports therapists,
Yep.
right? Now we have all these tools where
Mhm.
meditation, movement meditation, qigong, um all this self-talk, and there's a lot of mental health solutions that are provided for not just fighters but for everybody. And it's an understanding in these kids now that you have to have a good mental game. Uh you have to have that resilience to be able to come back and get back in that cage again. So
Mhm.
back then it was a little different, like you said, it
Mhm.
was the tougher guy, and that's it. And if
Mhm.
they're just mentally tough, they're mentally tough, and that just definitely comes with experience. Like I said, when I went pro, I kind of lost that because I wasn't used to losing.
Mhm.
And I went, as an amateur, and then I just hopped into pro without my coach saying yes or no. I was kind of, young and hungry and dumb, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I just,
Yeah.
hit up. I managed myself, which is a terrible idea, right? So I reached out to different federations around the East Coast circuit and tried to get a pro fight because I was an amateur title holder. But once I got to the pros, I got a rude awakening because almost all of them wrestled, and I was like, oh shit,
Mhm. That's like
especially in
step
the New
one.
yeah, especially in the New Jersey circuit. And I didn't have a manager, so I would just take fights against anybody. I would say, okay, I'll fight this guy. Okay, I'll fight this guy. And there was no real prize fighting at the time. Maybe you'll make $500, maybe 1,000. And in those pro circuits when I was fighting in New Jersey, they're in Atlantic City, and I'm a 21-year-old kid with $1,000 cash in my pocket. I'm going to the blackjack table after the fight, right? That's gone, and now it's gone.
uh,
Oh,
so
I'm thinking about, like, hey, what are we gonna, instead of fighting for money, because there was no real incentive. It was just whether you love to do this thing or you didn't. Right now, there's a little bit more incentive for these kids, because it's more popular. There's more money involved, and people get sponsorships and supporters because people look at it not as a spectacle anymore. It's a sport. It's an actual sport, right?
mhm.
It is no longer this thing that people don't people, oh, is that a cage fight or what is that, like, what are you guys doing, trying to kill each other? And now it's, the rule sets change and it's more acceptable.
Yep.
And it's not saying it's not dangerous. It's still very dangerous, but you know it's came a long way. It came a long way. I have never thought it would be this popular, or to this magnitude of how many people watch around the world, let alone the US.
Mhm.
It's beautiful to see the growth of this sport and how rapid it went.
Yep, exactly. You kind of even answered one of the questions I had lined up, which were kind of like, how has the UFC changed over the years since your retirement? You just hit it right there. Going back to your comments about like mental health, being able to bounce back and everything.
Yeah.
That is like such a critical part of that sport. It's crazy, leaving
Oh,
it all, like putting it all on the line, and like going through that like tough loss is very, really really critical to someone, to like a person's mental health. And I have to, like, give some love to Cowboy. Like, I don't know how that man did it, or like has been, yeah,
oh
did it.
yeah.
He's retired now, I believe, as of recently.
That boy's been fighting for like 20 something years.
Yeah.
Like he's,
it,
he's a beast.
he was a beast. Like, it didn't matter. Like, oh,
Hmm.
just fought last week. Hey, we got to fight. You want to fight? Let's run it.
Okay.
Okay, let's run it. How long I
Yeah,
gotta
no
train?
problem.
That was the next question.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, even going now to the UFC headquarters, where the where the fighters train before, before they have actual events here in Vegas. There's a UFC training center, and if you go in there, it's state of the art. They have, forget the exercise equipment, the healing equipment is. I would never have believed it would be this. It would be like this. They have like sauna, steam room, cold plunge, hot tub, right? Then they have a whole room with uh physical therapists, and then they have psychologists there. They have mental health stuff, like everything, meditation rooms. So forget about just the exercise stuff. That's the standard. Like,
Hmm.
even just naturally with the wave of the world, like if you don't work hard, like working hard is the standard. That's a given. The
Hmm.
healing part is where we struggle, right? You have to take off, you have to rest, you have to take those ice showers that people do. I'm just naming little things, but like you have to do these things to heal your body, because you're giving yourself a beating going through those training sessions. Especially if you're getting ready for a fight. All the odds, a lot of things are against you, especially the weight cutting and managing your eating and dealing with your regular day life, especially if you're not at that pinnacle. Because even some UFC fighters that make it, you're not making buco bucks until you get to like the top 10, top five, or if
Hmm.
you're
Main card.
if you're popular, right? It's at the end of the day, it's the entertainment business. So if you're not what people want to see, they're not going to pay for, you're not going to get paid as much. Um, so there's a different part to it, right? So it's not just, hey, I just want to fight. You have to also, hey, I want to fight. Hey, I have to train. Hey, I have to heal myself. And then, hey, I have to deal with the media. And that's like the hard part for a lot of fighters, because they don't want to deal with that crap, right? They don't want to deal with uh, photos and, and,
Hmm.
and signing stuff and interviews when they're like on like quarter gallon of water while they're cutting weight, or like they haven't eaten in a couple days.
They're
It's
dehydrated to a fuck, right?
yeah, and to me, that's the real fight, right? That's the real fight. The cage, I think, for the most part, is the fun part. That's the fun part, right? That's
That's
where you're alive, and that's where you get to express. And we have a handshake agreement that we're both gonna try to rip each other's heads off, but with love.
hmm
And there is no other dance like that I've ever experienced, right? Like, hey, we're gonna try to kill each other, we're try to kick each other's asses, but we're gonna be friends after this.
hmm
And I will say, like, every single person I fought, I am great friends with now. The person I fought for my first pro fight became my coach. Like, there's you form a great bond during these experiences, because you're exposing yourself. Boxers, any fighters, and predominantly any athlete, like, you're a con artist, right? You're trying to hide your weaknesses.
hmm
And it's my job to discover those weaknesses and unlock those weaknesses. And then when I see those weaknesses, I capitalize on it. It's
hmm
it's a chess match. And it's not just this dog eat dog, hustle, not like let's bang out type fight. It's trying to unlock everybody's weakness. And you're just trying to guard that the whole time. And once you're exposed, as you'll see, from the amateur level to the professional championship level, you can see when a fighter starts to dwindle down or gets exposed, and a good fighter will capitalize on that.
Yes. Yes,
So
exactly. Exactly. That so kind of let's see. I'm trying to think of like the order that I should ask the next three questions, because I really do want to get into like into Bugtown MMA.
Oh, sure.
But let's see. I guess I'll start with kind of let's talk about the support side of your journey. Could you tell us about the different individuals in your life that have supported you and inspired you to be the best version of yourself in, like, such an intense combat sport?
Um, yeah, my brother for one. My brother for one. He was a great supporter of what I'm doing. He was always in my corner. He was my strength coach as well. He was a personal trainer. He owned his own gym, like a strength conditioning gym and stuff like that. So he was also my coach a lot as far not just my brother. I'm sorry, I'm getting like tight now. I'm getting getting a little emotional here. But yeah, my brother was definitely someone that was in my corner. Um, your immediate family. My mother didn't support it, but she came to every fight. She didn't support it and didn't want to see me. Uh, but she came to every fight. My father, after a couple fights, didn't want to come anymore. He couldn't see me get hit. Right, he just didn't want to. God rest his soul. He just didn't want to witness me getting beat up or hit. Even if I won, he didn't want to see it. Funny story. Talk about support. My first ever amateur fight. My mom, my mother was like, "I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I'm not coming." I was like, "Okay, no, no, sure, I get it. I understand." She shows up like right before I'm about to walk out. I'm like, "Oh my God,
Ooh.
she's here." So I don't know how many minutes into the fight. I'm on top of this guy. I'm winning. And she runs to the ring because during this time in the amateur fights, it was like inside a middle school gymnasium, right? And it was just inside this ring that they rented. And my mother came running to the ring and started like screaming some shit, like "Get off! Get off!" I'm like, and I guess that the security guards, whoever they were at the time, they probably just picked some random dude from the crowd, had to pull my mom away. And I'm looking at my mom, and
Aw.
I'm like, "I'm winning. It's fine. I'm winning." Like. I'm winning. Like, so yeah, my best supporters were number one, my family, and that's super that I know some kids that I coach now and their family doesn't support it, and it's hard for me to explain to their parents like, hey, this is what they want to do. I'm sorry, but I don't know what to tell you. But so my family support was definitely something that helped me get through and to be the best versions of myself. Of course, they always tried to give me options to get away from the cage or the ring, but it's what I loved, and I did work on this. I did work. I still made money, so that was like the problem. Not the problem. That was okay with them. It wasn't a problem. So as long as I was working and doing good for myself financially, which I was, early, maybe around 16, 17, I was making okay money for my age. So I wanted to try the fighting thing, and they let me just because I was able to live up to their standard. I was just, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
amateur fighting, compared to kind of like, let's say, an underground brawl, like, very, very different. So I would support the amateur fight.
Yeah. Um, and back then the amateur fighting was unsanctioned, so they weren't so amateur. There was there was like head stomps
Oh
allowed, there
fuck.
was soccer kicks. Um, so it was still some of them were still a
What
little
was there still 12 to 6 elbows and
12
shit?
to 6. Yup,
Oh
X kicks on the ground, 12
fuck.
to 6. Um, I wasn't around. Well, I was around, but in the organization I was fighting for, there was no like headbutts or groin shots or anything like that.
Thank
But
God.
12 to 6 was still allowed. So that's I forgot that you knew the term. So yes, 12 to 6 was still allowed. Whether it's an elbow, whether it's a heel stomp, a soccer
Fuck.
kick. Um, so the amateur fights, and then there was an amateur fight that I would do. Like they had different rule sets, right? Then there was these things called shoot fights, where it was like pancrase style open palm strikes, but it's still a fight, but you're just hitting each other with open palms, but you could kick to the head. So it didn't really make sense to me, where like I'm slapping this guy in the face with a palm strike, but I could knee him in the head, but I could kick him in the head. So I don't.
Open foot. you know?
Yep, open to it. Exactly. Great way to say that. Great way to
uh,
say that.
so what going back to your support group, what can you share like the best piece of advice that any of those individuals has ever given you? Could be something that like stuck with you throughout your years.
Um, it's what you learn from the experience and then carry it out to your regular life. That's the most important information I've ever received. And I tell the kids I train now that all the time. The real fight's outside,
Mm-hmm.
we could do this thing and train and beat each other up inside the cage. But if you don't take those attributes to your real life and treat yourself the way you would treat yourself to a training camp and treat your peers and your friends like you would to a training camp and give your all to the things you love and the people you love, then what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point? The winning and losing is a luxury. The stepping in the cage and getting to scrap one on one with this dude is also a luxury. You should be blessed that you're healthy enough and fortunate enough to even step in that cage. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't carry those attributes into your real life and treat people with respect like you do in the cage, even though you're hitting each other, it's with respect and love. And if you don't carry that outside, then why what then you didn't learn
Mm-hmm.
then you didn't learn what martial arts is about.
Yep.
It's about respect. It's about being a warrior, and to me that's the real lesson.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is a beautiful lesson that you like learned early on, and thank you for sharing here with us. So like early in life, was there ever a moment that where like you came to the realization that you could perform at a professional level?
Oh, um that is so early in my career. When I first got pro, I never, I was 5-0 as an amateur, and then I went right into pro, and I lost my first three fights, and it took me until my 30s, so about 10 years, for me to accept that I actually belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, my body was just beat up. I had already maybe 16 fights, and by the time my mental game caught up, my physical body was not up to speed. I don't even know how many injuries I've had through my fight career. Broke my nose 3 times, broke my hand 2 times, broke my foot, torn ACL, torn MCL, uh, broke my tibia, broke my rib
Sheesh.
twice. Um, the list goes on. Oh, my
Mm-hmm.
my shoulder, my rotator cuff,
Wow.
and by the time I was 30, 32, I was still fighting, and my body was just beat up, but my mind was like, "You belong here," and I just felt like it was a little too late
Mm-hmm.
because my physical body couldn't keep up, but I still fought because I loved it,
Yes, of
and
course. It was your passion.
I still fought. It is my passion. I loved it. Uh, and it's funny is the moment I realized I belonged. I remember the fight, and I did win the fight. And my buddy Kevin Roddy, he's a fighter. He was in the corner, and after I won, he looks at me. He's like, "Man, you don't know how to celebrate." And I was like, "Yeah, like winning just didn't. It feels it feels better thinking about it than when it actually happened." If that makes sense, it's kind of like Mike Tyson said this, and this always sticks with me. It's like someone told him uh, there's a secret door on top of Mount Everest. So he climbs Mount Everest, kicks the door down, and the room is empty. And that's how he felt like when he won his first world championship title. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt like that too, because it's about the journey, it's about the experience, it's about the bond, it's about the actual fight, and the winning and losing. The winning to me and the losing to me is secondary. Um, I could be saying that because I lost a high percentage of my fights, but I really think the valuable lesson is that experience the journey, be in the now, and that's what's important. And I think we should be able to carry that into our real lives, and that's what makes a champion to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's awesome.
that's when I realized I do belong here because I'm enjoying the journey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying this process. I enjoy getting hit in the head.
uh,
So there's a bit of me that I don't know what this is inside me, but even like when I train, I just love the exchange of going toe to toe with even some of my training partners,
mm-hmm.
the kids I train with, and like I feel alive.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt more alive in my life
In your
inside that cage.
natural element.
Yeah, win or lose, I love every second of it. The blood, the sweat, the tears, all of it. I can't I'm getting a little choked up. I'm sorry
No
because
worries.
there's nothing more beautiful to me than that art, right? That martial arts is art,
Mm-hmm.
and for you to express your art in front of a crowd of people, it's hard to begin with. And if you're able to express yourself, just like any artist, that's that's the real win.
Mm-hmm. That's what
That's
you
where you know
strive
when you
for.
belong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the cage is our canvas, and it's literally a canvas. It's literally a canvas. So you get to express your art on the canvas and be okay with whatever people say about you and whatever outcome happens. It doesn't matter. It's about painting that canvas, and that's the win. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when I knew I belonged. When I finally won one of my pro fights, and I was like, "That's it," you know. I thought it would feel better. I watched movies. I watched Rocky. Like they
Like
seem excited.
it seems like they were overwhelmed with joy and accomplishment.
Yeah. And
uh,
I was just too tired to like even celebrate. I was like, what just happened in there? I
um,
don't know what happened, but I know I loved it.
so I was doing a little research. Is it okay if I pull up a couple videos of like your fight days that I
Oh
found?
God. Oh, I have no choice now. You put me on the spot. I can't say no.
Just a couple minutes, just a couple minutes, I promise.
Okay. I wish there was more footage. There used to be a platform with all the fights. I wish there was more footage, but back then videos and all that stuff was a little different.
Mm-hmm. So
Oh,
in
yes.
in this one, I wanted just to share with everyone that is listening. Thank you once again,
Okay.
everyone at Dollhouse for your time, and everyone that's watching on any streaming platforms. Hope you're enjoying the show. Uh, yeah, pretty much. I found this one against your fight against Jeff Lentz.
Oh yeah. He's another one that made it to the UFC. Yep. I fought a lot of guys that made it to the UFC. Uh my friends used to call me the stepping stone, so that's what I was.
Man, you're a tank.
Thank you. Man. Oh, I don't even remember the last time I watched this.
Oh man. Got that yellow shorts on, ready to fight. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even have all my tattoos yet. That's so weird. My whole
He,
stomach is done now. I have a clean stomach there.
I see. I can't believe he started off with a head kick and missed at that.
Yeah, and he after this fight, we were training partners. He joined my gym.
That's sick.
Like that's what it's about, Great dude. He made it to the UFC. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. So this dude Jeff Lentz, he's one of my good friends now. He was on the Ultimate Fighter show, and
Really?
he used to like smoke cigarettes and just win fights. Like he's just one of those guys that sometimes people are just made different.
Oh man, I gotta look up what season he was on. That's
Yeah,
super
he was
funny.
on the one with Bruce Leroy, and I forgot.
He, he, he,
But there's him smoking a cigarette and going to fight.
Yeah, the dude that's just putting out the cigarette as he's like stepping up. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm out here busting my ass, and these guys smoking cigarettes.
Just like, spitting out the dip as he's walking in the
Yeah.
spit
Did I see
bucket.
blonde hair? Oh, the blonde hair one. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yep, I found a blonde hair
See if the
one.
change in trunks
Yes.
makes any difference
We
in the
got
fight
you.
style
We
of
got
Jay
you in
Isip.
here. Frickin' tank, bro. I would
Pro Cop
hate to get hit
immediately
by
lands
you.
a nice right hand. Follows it up with another nice right hand. Looping hook by Isip. Gonna have to tighten his hands up a little bit. Nice low kick by Isip. Feeling him out with the jab.
Boom.
Oh, nice right hand by Isip. Staggers Pro
Oh my
Cop.
God! I hear my partner screaming in the background.
Takedown
Flip
by
him,
Pro
flip
Cop, but
him.
Isip
Nice.
reverses it. What a great start to this undercard fight. Both fighters have stunned their opponent. Pro Cop with 2 straight rights.
And
Isip
this
with a
was the
return right hand of his
GFL
own.
days.
Pro Cop goes for the
Yeah,
takedown.
that
Isip
they had all the
finishes
fights
job,
there, and all of a
gets up
sudden
in
the
top position.
platform just went kerplunk. So,
Jay Isip in
you think things are timeless, and then I was like, oh, I'll have these fights forever, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. I was like, no.
Damn, don't tell
Oh,
me
those
that.
shorts, yo. I wish I still had them shorts.
Oh, don't tell me that. I rely on YouTube to record all my episodes. Now I gotta I gotta get to work and transferring those files over.
Yeah, the
So
GFL they got bought out by Flow Combat, Flow Sports, and then they just got rid of. They archived fights below 2010, I think, or 14, or I forget, and it's just all the OGs and like people I fought with are like, what the fuck is doing all our fights? It's like now we're just those old dudes that tell stories, right? We can't even show anybody videos. It's like there's a couple of sadness left. So yeah.
don't worry, bro. I had an episode of this show with Burton Morris.
Uh-huh.
He is like an American pop artist. If you ever watched the show Friends, his art was always displayed in the back at the Central Cafe in like setting for that show. Like his art
Okay.
was there for years. I had him on Beyond the NFT, and right when I go to like, hey, I wanna show this footage off, it's gone.
Gone.
So,
Oh my god.
so yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, you think things last
Oh
forever.
yeah,
Okay,
and they're gone.
and they're gone. So, couple more questions before we get into Bucktown. Um, First question: when getting into the UFC, what were your first thoughts that came through your mind?
Oh no, I never made it. I went pro, but I never made it to the
Oh
UFC.
yes, you're right.
Yep. My
Or
peers did. My friends, a few of my friends did, but I haven't, along with many others that thought they could. you know, especially fighting. Well, when I first went pro, I will say that felt overwhelming. Like I've never fought in front of that many people before in my life, or even did anything in front of that many people in my life. It was at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, and pretty much a sold out crowd. And I was just like, geez, this is like WWF. Like they had the smoke, the mirror, the smoke, the
oh
lights,
man.
all that stuff, the walkout music, and that's like every like little kid's dream, right? Just wants to walk out like a wrestler. And I was like, man, I made it, right? That's what that moment was, kind of like my quote unquote UFC moment when I first had my first pro fight. So,
That's awesome.
and I
That's
got a
awesome.
paycheck. As, a 20-year-old, I got a paycheck. I was like, wow, I get paid to punch someone in the head. Like, this is great.
Well, my second question was going to be what is your proudest moment from your professional career? Would you say that's it, or do you have other very proud moments?
Oh, that's a tough question because
Yeah, you just finished telling us. It's like, bro,
if
you
I
don't know how to celebrate.
yeah, and like it's if we're gonna take off a layer, I didn't have a great career, and I was you know I battled drug and alcohol abuse during those times. and that's why I opened the program, so kids don't do what I did
Mm-hmm.
to myself,
Well, I mean,
uh
definitely great. You're definitely a great example for these kids.
yeah. So it was tough to find, it was tough to it's tough to even think about the a singular moment that where it stood out to me, because it was it was a lot of it was hard, it was very difficult,
Mm-hmm.
especially out of the cage. It was very difficult. I guess coming back would be my favorite, my because I quote unquote retired when I was like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and then I came back in a couple, like 2 more years, and I think during those times was the times I really enjoyed, because I was getting there, mentally, and I was not drinking a lot and not doing. I cut all that shit out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wild ride. So if anything, the moment is when I was able to detach from those addictions.
That is amazing. And thank you
Yeah,
for sharing.
yeah.
um,
Because and
Canessa. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry. No, you go ahead. I can go on about that for like 10 days. So maybe
uh,
that's.
Canessa says in the Twitch chat, Jay needs to come and do a talk for Wellness Month in January.
Ooh.
Would that be something you would be open to?
Yeah, let me not let me exercise that a little bit.
Mm-hmm, of
But
course.
that's an honor. I would definitely love to. Let's talk about it. Yeah, sure. I don't mind that at all, actually. I don't mind that at all,
Of
because
course.
this is um what I preach to all the students I have now and the kids I've coached in the past, and that's I would love to share that message with other people
Of
going
course.
forward, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It is not easy, and we all still struggle. Sometimes I still struggle with mental health, of course, even that I am sober. Weed helps.
Weed always helps.
If I know, I'm gonna throw a joke in there to mask my depression. But yeah, weed helps.
uh, so everyone that's listening, everyone at Dollhouse, and any other streaming platforms, please tune in to Twitch and make sure to type in chat. You can type anything you'd like. We have the Nightbot here going. You will be eligible for 15 minutes after you type, and you'll find out why here shortly. Make sure to tune in to Twitch TV slash Sinful Meat Sticks, and yeah, just say some random words. Okay, so then I guess this is a perfect segue into Bucktown. What is Bucktown MMA?
Oh well, it's a nonprofit organization, a gym I opened I started the program in 2018, no, 2016 I started it, but then I had an actual physical space 2020, which is a whole nother sad story, but I don't, we could get into it another time maybe. But during that time was the lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did sign the lease the day before the lockdown, and that was very difficult to deal with, because I wasn't even able to open the space for, aside from what was going on, which is it was I couldn't open for about 8 9 months, so lost, but aside from that, I was still able to open the program after that, and we were still able to run our business after the whole thing happened. But yeah, so 2020 is when I first opened it. We have free wrestling classes, free jiu-jitsu classes, free Muay Thai classes for kids in our area. Um, for the adults, I had paid memberships, and that's how I kept the gym open. And I tried to acquire sponsors and donors and uh, other people to help support us, different coaches that would dedicate their time. for no money, which is great. Uh, so the program is just to help the next kid that wants to jump into combat sports or martial arts, and not necessarily be competitive, but just a place for them to express themselves, a place for them to get healthy, a place for them to bond with other kids with like minds and do this thing and share this space that we call martial arts. And I think the um the main reason is I opened it because I wanted to open it for a 20-year-old me, or an 18-year-old me, or a 16-year-old me, or a kid my age, like someone I needed, and the place I needed when I was younger. So I moved back to my hometown and opened up this space.
That is awesome. And great way to continue doing something that you're passionate about in a more like impactful way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. It's and to see it, I can't even I can't it's words can't really explain how much I believe in this in martial arts, and the health benefits, the mental health benefits that it does learning at a younger age, especially because even it's funny. So the kids that I have, I'm trying to give you an example. Like most of the kids I had, it's really like the spectrum's so large where I would have a super shy kid that never even like that doesn't know how, that is very uncomfortable speaking to a kid that is like getting in trouble all the time, suspended and cops and on the streets, right? Like so I have a lot of kids that high school, that age group that are on the two ends of the spectrum where one is super quiet and shy, and then the other one's just a maniac, right? And I feel like I was kind of both of those. Like I'm shy at times, but I can be a maniac, especially when I was younger. So it's just really interesting to see the dynamic that walks in the door because they want to express themselves. They want to learn how to do this thing called martial arts and fight and compete, or just learn to express themselves. So what was your original question?
uh,
Sometimes I think my CTE kicks in and like
nah. I mean, no, you're definitely hitting it. The question was like, what is Bucktown?
yeah.
So
And there's so much to explain, so it's just a place. I just wanted to open a place for someone like me when I was 20, a teenager or younger, and provide this space for them to express themselves.
That is awesome. And okay, so I am aware that you're currently holding a fundraiser for Bucktown. What could you tell us about it? How can anyone support?
Yeah, just like there's on the screen, there's a fundraiser right there. We created a line of merch, one for wrestling and one just for like regular style. So if you want to browse through those merchandise, and if you see something you like, that supports our program. And I just didn't want to, I want to try to make it a little different. That's why I made merchandise on top of creating NFT collections, on top of entering the space to create wearables. I just wanted to really try to monetize any which way I thought was cool, which the NFT world is, and metaverse is super cool. So I just kind of wanted to add different components where people can support our program and show off their style, and
Yes.
so it's kind of like a twofer, one hand washes the other. I just didn't want to kind of hold out a tin can and just ask for money. I want to
Definitely.
give it some type of reciprocation. So
I already know of like two community members that would love these cheetah print pants. Daybed, this big shout out to Daybed if you are listening on any platform. And also Spotty Wi-Fi. I could see
nice.
them sporting these cheetah pants.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, in the other collection, I got some cheetah stuff too. I like cheetah as well. I like that stuff. So I like those different prints.
All right, would it be this
Um,
one? Yeah, I think so. Yep. There. Yep. There you go. These are pretty awesome. I mean, these are kind of like designs that I think you could even take into Decentraland.
Oh, that'd be fire.
Mm-hmm. Like one of these
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, hell yeah. Uh,
Word.
okay, so I know that recently you had published a Decentraland wearable. Um,
Um, yes.
you,
I just did it this morning. Well, this afternoon. And obviously, I forgot. You know, the last time I uploaded a wearable, I'm actually wearing it in here now. I got that pink wig on with the stud on the side, that cyberpunk wig. I just wanted to test it and see how it worked out, and I forgot that there was a waiting process. So
mm,
I uploaded it today, thinking that it would be available for me to give out or people to purchase today, but it's not. So it's going to be a few days, I guess, or however long it takes. And if there's any changes, obviously that I need to take, I'll get those changes done. But other than that, I'm just gonna wait until they come through. I created a couple things. I minted 3 wearables and an emote for this set, so I'm excited for that to come out.
I'm
And that has to do with like fighting. I got a pair of boxing gloves. I got like a walkout vest. Um,
okay, right here. Oh,
and the
found them.
emote's pretty cool.
Let's go. I found them. Okay.
Oh, did you?
All right, right here, collection, Bucktown
Bucktown
Brawler
Brawler.
set. All right.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh shit. Okay, we got the top.
Yeah. Oh, you can't see it
Yeah,
in
we
the
got
world, so that's just the thing, right?
link to editor. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Now I have to apply. Oh shit! Oh, look, damn, this looks good. we have
Nice.
the vest. I believe that's what it's called. Correct.
Yes, yes. The walkout vest.
We have the walkout vest. Then we have
They got a
the
matching
gloves.
pair of boxing gloves that go with it.
Oh, nice. With bloom and everything, bro. Bloom is
Yeah.
like
And it's
next
different when you
level.
put it in the world than it is here, but yeah, the gloom there.
Then then we had these are another pair of gloves. Yes, skull.
Yeah, and I got a pair of red ones and a pair of black ones.
Nice. Oh, pretty. Oh, you did say there's an emote, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
think if it's like a sparring emote.
You'll see it. So I didn't know that the emotes can't walk, but when you see the motion, I think you'll see what it is.
For some reason,
If you watch fighting, so you'll see
yeah. For some
they play
reason,
the emote.
not
It's not
letting
letting you
me.
play it.
No.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh well, that could remain a mystery then.
Okay, okay.
Here, let's take a look
No,
at.
awesome.
Okay, let's see. An hour ago, the Anku said, "I'll check now," and then an hour ago, "Hi, brawler gloves. Will need to be added to this category to overrides."
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so there you go.
Awesome.
The
They're already checking on it. That's dope.
yeah, the Anku is awesome. They are involved with Dapcraft. They did like the Halloween like community like mission events this year. They did a really
Mm-hmm.
good job. So you're in good hands with
All
the
right.
Anku, and
Okay, awesome.
I don't want to flex or anything, but I don't know. But like, if you look at the Anku's picture on the Central Land forums, she's wearing my wearable. Just just
Ah,
just
all
gonna throw
right.
that
There you
out
go.
there. Just gonna throw that out there. No flexing or anything.
All good, man.
So that's awesome. And going back to the fundraiser, you were mentioning that you wanted to do an airdrop of wearables to anyone that contributed, correct?
Yes, for sure. So if anybody wanted to, if anyone grabbed some merch, I'm gonna drop you a wearable. Simple as that. There's a form that I have right there. That's pulling it up. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if you purchase some merch to support our program, I'm gonna gladly drop you guys a wearable, as a gift. So
And yep.
there's a form in my LinkedIn. Yep.
All right. So yes, please support you. The link to the fundraiser is the top, the top selection on Jay's link tree, and then after you pick up yours, then claim your wearable will be the application form for you to claim your wearable. But we have good news for those that have been typing on Twitch. Let's see how many we have currently. Probably like 3 or 4. We have 4 eligible users. We will be rolling for 5 wearables tonight. Jay has donated 5 wearables for tonight's cause for tonight's
Yes.
event, and thank you, Jay, for doing that.
No problem. No problem.
So now that everyone
My
knows,
pleasure.
it'll probably take about 30 seconds or a minute or two for everyone to come in and type. So perhaps maybe we can I can ask you a couple questions and then come back to the rolling.
Yeah, sure. And sure, anything you want, Bucktown or whatever questions you have, I'll try to answer them. Um, yeah,
Let's
there's just so much with Bucktown. I don't like it. It's it's my whole life. It's my whole life. I've done a lot of things in my life, and nothing compares to this program that I'm starting. I've worked my whole life, and I've opened different businesses, and I started new ventures, but this is stands its own pedestal.
mm-hmm,
It's even hard for me to talk about because it means so much to me.
mm-hmm. I mean,
But and how important it is, and sponsoring fighters to help pave their way. No matter what socioeconomic background, and that you will notice that like I have trained kids where they're able to pay for the training and pay for these private lessons with top-notch UFC fighters, and they make it right. Like that's the gas. That's literal gas. Sponsorships is gas for people to fuel these warriors to
mm-hmm,
take that next step and get to that pinnacle. Because sometimes I see it, and I'm like, man, that kid's great, or that fighter's great, but they don't have the resources. They don't
mm-hmm.
have the access. They don't have the
The
time.
energy.
They
Yep.
have to work. Their home is different, and I see a lot of that in the area I grew up in. So that's why I moved back and tried to open up that program. I did move recently, but I still have the program going on. I have good coaches, I have great employees, I have a great partner. She runs the Bucktown Twitter and all the Instagrams and stuff like that, social media, the marketing. Uh, Her name is Robin. She does a great job with helping me out with the digital stuff, and I do a lot of the physical stuff. And it's a nice team. My brother's there; he was helping the coach. I have a lot of volunteers as well, like I said earlier. Um, and we're here just trying to grow. Last year was the past couple years were tough coming out of COVID. Uh, and that's maybe a story for another day. But
Mm-hmm.
we're here, up and running. We're still, we almost had to shut down, which I will mention, but we were able to stay open, and I made some changes. And I'm here now, and that's why I'm trying to keep this program going and introduce it to a new community that I found a couple years ago, which is the NFT, the Decentraland, the metaverse. Just walking into this, just entering the space, I had no idea what I was gonna find, and man, I just found a beautiful community that I had no idea about, that shares love and creates and helps each other, even just through just a simple GM. Like how much love and care that supports people. I'd never been in a community this caring, and the only community that I can match it to is the fight community that I have now. And there's so much love in this space. It's immeasurable to me, and like I love everybody here and how everybody's creating and being able to express themselves. And everybody's from a different part of the world, and you learn so many things just through people's art and the way they talk and spaces and investments and projects and wearables. Like, to me, this is just another form of the martial arts, right? Here's your
Mm-hmm.
canvas, show me your art. And That's what it's about to me. This us sharing, us being able to share and express and communicate through this world.
Yep, exactly. So right now on the screen, I'm in the coaches page in bucktown.org.
Uh-huh.
Could you share a little bit about the coaches that we have here? I know you have like a list here, but yeah, definitely just could you like share a little bit about them?
Yeah, for sure. The top one's me, obviously. The second one's my brother, which we discussed. Um, the one to the right is David Guerra. He is actually an amateur MMA fighter right now. He was a kid that I coached from seventh grade until now. He's in college. He wrestled in college. He wrestled in high school, wrestled in college, and now he had his debut a few months ago. And he's one of the volunteers because he was part of the program. I
Nice.
volunteered to be a wrestling coach in my town. Then I took them into Bucktown, and he got a liking. He got a liking into the fight game aside from wrestling. So he's one of our volunteer coaches as well. If you scroll down, you'll see the other volunteer coaches.
Yep.
And they all pretty much had the same journey. Like they entered this space as a practitioner, as a student, and now they're coaching.
As a practitioner or you know, coming up into amateur like into amateur fighting, even into professional, is it beneficial to kind of for the fighter to kind of come back as a coach and kind of like, you know, work that way as well as like even getting in the ring as a fighter?
Yeah. Like I said before, the fight is the luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Giving back is what's important, and that's what I want to instill in these kids as they grow up, that it's about giving back to your community, giving back to the kids, to the kid that you used to be. So sponsoring these fighters and helping them train, they pay the program back by volunteering, coaching, and passing down the information they've learned.
Okay. So yeah, we got Jason Melendez, we got
And
Matt
if they're in a training,
Fuska.
if they're in a training camp, no, you're not coaching.
No, definitely
You know.
not. That's like prime time. You gotta like laser focus in that and dehydrate yourself.
Yeah. So
uh, okay. Oh, you have meditation instructor. We have
yeah.
multi coach. Wow, you have a big team under you.
Yeah, we had a big team underneath, and they own their own gyms as well. So
Really?
Bucktown isn't just the space; it's the coach. It's a community. It's
Oh,
also not just the space we have; it's a community. So the two instructors you saw up there, the Muay Thai instructors, they own a gym in Kings, Brooklyn.
oh,
It's
right here.
called Kings. It's in Brooklyn. Um,
Oh, right here.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, founder of
yeah,
King Williamsburg.
yeah.
And then
Right there, Deb is a she is a qigong meditation instructor. With she does her own thing, but she came to contribute. So she does things at the gym, but as well as on her own time for her work.
yep.
So it's not just people at the gym.
That's
It's
awesome.
a community.
That's awesome.
So there's right now we have a partner with three, no, there's how many, three or four, I forget exactly, but I know the ones offhand that will take in these students and accept them into their space. And I would, sponsor these students to go train at other gyms as well. So it's not just my program.
That's awesome.
It's instructors that believe in this program and they want to help out. So
Hmm.
they're they're in different locations, and that's the goal for me, to try to pop these up in different locations, get other coaches involved and other volunteers to spread, you know to spread this knowledge and to spread your wisdom and pass down what you've learned from the art of fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I said, mental health is important, so that's why I have the I have the mental health instructor. She does qigong, she does meditations, she does energy work. I think that's very important for an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
especially now. Getting the head game straight. So
Yep.
And that's something I've been practicing a lot in myself lately because and I'll be quite honest, the CTE scares me, especially the older generation. I talk to some of my friends and I see right through their eyes. I'm like, man, they're going through it, you know. They're going through it. They have symptoms, and that's one thing with a group of my friends we always talk about. We want to try to keep that healthy because it comes later in your career. It comes later, like
Yeah.
5-10 years later after your career, where you experience symptoms, you experience memory loss, you experience uh
Yeah.
anger, and different things that
Mm-hmm.
so I really focus now on the mental part of the mental part of my martial arts, where I do tai chi, qigong, kind of Shaolin stuff, and meditation. So that's what I'm really practicing now, and because I'm a little older and it's tough for me to get on the mats, So
Yep. Definitely. Yes. CTE is something that is not spoken about enough, and
yeah,
hopefully, like in the future, it seems like when that topic comes up, it's like mainly talked about within like the NFL players like community,
yeah,
but that spans out to other sports like mixed martial
absolutely,
arts, definitely.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. And as I said before, it's the way we train. We train terrible.
mhm.
That's the reason why we have a group of us, and some people that I see that I fought with in the past have these symptoms, and no one trains like that now. If you have a coach that trains you like that, that's
You need a new
huge
coach.
red flag. Yeah, you need a new coach. Huge red flag. There's world champions out there that don't even spar. They don't even
Yeah,
spar anymore.
yeah.
Robbie Lawler, like,
Keep it healthy.
stop sparring. Yeah, George St. Pierre, right? They stop sparring after a while. Like, that's not good. I can't do it all the time. So I'm glad it's adjusted, and I'm glad that fighters, we
Yeah.
we were the first ones at it. So
Uh-huh.
we learned the hard way.
Exactly. Okay, so our first winner for the role is Toxic Waifu. Billy says that he thinks Toxic Waifu went to bed, so I will make a note and contact Toxic
Nice.
Waifu tomorrow, and I'll get you the her wallet. Contact Toxic. What do you think? Should we roll one more?
Sure.
All right. Before the next question. All right, let's roll another
Oh
one.
yeah, you had a question. I went on a rant, dude.
No,
I'm
no. I
sorry.
mean, it's all been going. It's all been flowing in the conversation, man. Like, don't you worry about a thing.
Okay.
You have been an awesome guest. And Billy T Coin, congratulations. You have won.
Right.
You have won some wearables, my friend. Make sure to message me your wallet address, and I'll pass it over to Jay. You know how to find me, Billy. Just DM me on Discord. Okay, so we spoke about coaches. We spoke about how, Bucktown is not a single gym. It is a community of coaches of different and even different gyms.
Yeah.
That is so powerful for, young individual, like whether if it's like that person that has been in the streets, that jail, cops, the rowdy ones,
Hmm.
like they have different settings to kind of find a place where they belong in a way.
Yeah,
That
for
that
sure.
you're doing big things for the youth. I want to personally thank you. um
Oh, thank you, man. That means a lot. That really means a lot.
let's talk a little bit about the NFTs. I know I this is beyond the NFT, and we've been talking about fighting because I just been so hyped. What could you tell us about the Bucktown OGs and Legends collection? And yeah, how can
Um,
we buy, support, and what are some utilities behind it? Sorry, go ahead.
no, no problem. The utility is empowering the youth, right? First off and foremost is helping the kids. To me, that's the utility. But as far as the collection, they're on OpenSea. It's pretty basic. They're minted on ETH. They are a derived collection from Crazy Bears NFT. I'm not doing any shills or anything like that. They're just one of the first.
Aw.
I just wanted to pay homage to them because they helped me bring out the artist in me as well, where I started drawing again, and one of my pieces got selected to be an asset in their collection. So that's when I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
NFT space is cool. So yeah, it's like a mini collection.
Polygon collection.
Each this Crazy Bears is Polygon. This is on ETH.
Oh yeah, that's
Anytime someone purchases an NFT, you're pretty much you're strapping up a kid, you're buying them shoes, or you're helping pay for their tuition, right? For the gym or other gyms, and definitely supporting our volunteer program as well. So each purchase helps our program, and utility, like I said, is helping the kids. I'm planning to do raffles, your basic stuff, your raffles, your giveaways, discounts on our merchandise, that kind of stuff. So it says it in the description.
Okay.
And then the other collection is NFTs of the fighters that I sponsor, that Bucktown sponsors, or an ambassador, like a legend that came by and dropped their NFTs that would agree to be in the collection. So it is it's something cool for here you go. It's something cool for a kid coming up to have an NFT, and these are like the fighters I sponsor. So
that's
it's
awesome.
cool. So they onboard, right? So I'm teaching these kids to also onboard. So they have an NFT, they're amateur fighters, and they're up and coming, or they're in the beginning of their careers. So
man,
I make them an NFT, and they could tell their friends, and I try to get them to onboard as well. So this is just like another avenue of getting the youth kids to understand what NFTs are, and it's cool. And it's cool, and it supports them. So there's different ways to support. I want to try to create different avenues like merchandise, NFTs, the wearables, other stuff, and obviously, you throw events and stuff. But I want to try to make it different. So
yeah, this is this is definitely amazing and for a good cause. Even if you wanted to kind of like extend the how personalized it is, you could even ask if the kid wants to like write up a few sentences like about what he's about, and put it in the description, like here's a note from Austin, let's say, because right now I'm looking at Austin's NFT. That would be cool.
Great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
yes, and like I said, I have a couple other people that drop. Like I got a couple pro fighters right now. I have Frankie Edgar in there. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him.
Yes.
He let me. Well, I fought him in 2005.
No way.
So I fought him in 2005.
Fuck.
So
he's a beast.
He was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with dropping an NFT." He autographed it, and I have a couple other UFC fighters coming in to be ambassadors and drop let me add them to their collection as well. So that's something I want to try to work on.
Is that why this one costs a little more? I think. Where'd I go?
Yeah, yeah, definitely a little more, just a little more.
Yeah, 0.5 Frankie Edgar's, and then the 0.2. Yep, and just to kind of be, just to make sure get the information out there. It is like this purchase goes directly to the Bucktown or nonprofit organization if it's bought through or listed by Bucktown, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you see any other names that listed by any other names, the funds will not be directed to help the cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's secondary, which I don't see any, these collections aren't liquid at all. I have done, barely any promotion on them. I just kind of have them sitting there until I build, but I guess if it was on secondary, then it would be connected to another wallet, right?
Yes. If it were on secondary. So this is the main shop. Okay. This is awesome. I'm happy we covered the
Thank you. Oh yeah,
NFT.
Jason. That's Jason Melendez. He's fighting. That was Jason Melendez. He's fighting next week, so that's pretty cool.
Uh,
He's this.
what
Yeah,
can you
he's
tell
up and
us?
coming.
How
He's like
can we
he's
watch?
7-0 right now. I think if he wins this one, they're gonna put him in pro. So
Whoa.
he's on his way. This kid.
Is there any way to catch the fight, like streaming anywhere?
There is. I don't have all the details yet. There is. I just don't have the details, but
Okay.
I'll share them with you once I find out.
Yeah, please do share. It'll be awesome to see an up and coming legend. Oh man, that's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Man, I had a question, but I also did take a hit of the weed. So
Oh, I heard that. I heard that.
you're
I should have
here.
joined you.
You're hearing the sparks, huh?
Yeah, I slacked off. I should have sparked mine as well.
I'm just blown away by kind of what you have set up here. The awesome website that you have built as well. Like this is
Uh,
a pretty cool
yeah, that's my
website.
partner Robin. She's great. She does a great job.
You were mentioning that this is like this is Bucktown is what you've been pouring your heart and soul into ever since you started it, and you can definitely tell, speaking to you, looking through the website as like I'm sitting here with you. I can tell that this is where your life is at. This is what
Yeah.
you love.
Thank you. Oh,
um
thank you. That hit me. It hit home. Thank you.
no and I guess maybe I could ask you a couple final questions, and then we could close out. What do you think?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so as a fighter, as an up and coming fighter, trying to be a professional, um what are some of the best what is the best piece of advice you can give them?
Uh, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush, especially if you're hurt. Right. That's a big thing. People don't know how to slow down. um, when you need to take a break, take a break. Uh, that's what I would say. Is listen to your body. Don't try to rush into it. I think I made a mistake rushing into it, along with many of my peers, and that's the biggest. That's one of the things we always say. An amateur coming up, don't rush it. And I tell some of the students that are part of the program now, when I talk to them, they're like, "Oh, I got this fight and that fight and this fight." Like, one fight at a time. One fight at a time, and then reassess. So take your time.
Mm-hmm.
The fight game's not going anywhere.
And that is very valuable advice. Thank you. And I guess I can still ask the second question. As a coach, what are some key points or values? What are some values that you try to instill into the young fighters, your young students?
Respect for each other, respect and love for each other. Understand that we are doing this thing together, and even though the fight is individual, we are all in this together. That, to me, that's the most valuable thing, is respect your fighters, respect your teammates, respect your coaches. Love this thing that you're doing, and you know good things or bad things may happen, but that's what makes us a fighter, to be able to battle through these times.
Respect.
Yeah.
And maybe I can even ask a question for the other coaches. What is the best advice you can give to a fellow coach? Whether it could be dealing with rowdy pupil or anything really. Go.
Listen listen more than you talk. Listen to them. Let the kid or the youth student, the one that's up and coming, talk and really understand their relationship with themselves, and try to build that intuitive skill where you can understand them at a level where you can communicate with them. Listening is very important, and not just saying, oh, I did this, oh, you should do this, no, do this here, no, run this way, I did this, so you should do that. No, every single person is different. Everyone has a different algorithm, and if you don't sit there and listen, you're not going to be able to download that information. So I think the key thing is listening.
Thank you. And I do hope that one day, a martial arts coach or student, or maybe an up and comer will, listen to this and, follow your very valuable advice. Thank you for being here tonight. What's next for you? How can anyone support Bucktown MMA, and support you?
Just like you showed, the website, we have our fundraiser going. You can grab some merch, you can grab some NFTs, you can grab a wearable when they come out. Well, I'll be dropping some off to the winners as well. And that's how you can support. That's everything's on the website, everything's there. It's pretty much a one-stop shop. I haven't token gated anything. I have some plans moving forward, but I'm not going to put a roadmap out or anything like that, because to me, that predominantly what's important is
The kids.
helping the kids, making this program. Yeah. So
keep
if I
focused
put a
on
roadmap out, then I got to stay focused on the seed. That's what's important, and everything else will come after that. But yeah, they could support, grab some merch, NFTs, wearables.
Nice.
It's all digital. It's all digital support right now.
If anyone wants to support, or I mean, I'm sorry, if anyone wants to collaborate with you, or message you at any time, what's the best place to contact you?
Twitter. You could hit me up on Twitter, or X. Sorry, X. Just shoot me a DM, and we'll work. If it works out, it works out. I'm all ears. And just like you said on that Canessa said in January, that's already something I'm definitely interested in. So if anyone else wants to collab on any ideas, let's break bread.
Love it. Okay, so I'm personally, I guess I'm not gonna roll. We kind of went very deep into the conversation, and the Nightbot, all the eligible people, the time ran out. So, but there weren't many, so I can actually just write the names down of the people that that were eligible, and then I'll just send you their wallet addresses later. Is that okay with you?
Totally fine.
Alrighty, here, I gotta get one more name. I'm looking in chat. Oh, on the rise. And Billy. Okay, Billy already sent me his wallet address too. Alrighty. Well, on that note, I guess this is a great time to close out. We've been live for. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
11:30.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with our conversation tonight, so just want to thank you once again.
Okay.
Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do within your community. Thank you for being an awesome person, an open person, and just coming here to talk to little old me on the metaverse.
Little old you, man. Like I said, I was a nervous wreck like the past 2 days. Like, oh my God, this guy asked me to talk, because I've been coming to your show for the past, few weeks or a couple months, and I'm just like seeing you posting all this stuff in these spaces, and so thank you for. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Much appreciate. Thank you for Yeah, I mean, you're always popping into the spaces. You were always supporting. I had to kind of, it came to a moment to me where I'm like, you know what? I haven't spoken with Jay, and Jay like is always showing me love. Like, what's going on here? I'm lacking. So,
I just really love what you're doing, man. Like you're building, it's community building, and you're doing exactly that. And hats off to you. And it's very important. Community is something we need to grow as human beings, and that's what you're doing. You're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're building a community, giving back, helping people out, and thank you for that, man.
hey,
And it's been an honor to be here. I appreciate you and everybody in the Central Land.
yes, everybody, thank you for being here. Just few final shout outs. I see Peanut Butter has popped in. He's also getting the Orange Cat vibes. I'm feeling the Orange Cat vibes myself, as you can see. We got
All right.
we got Father
Mm-hmm.
Finn in the building. He just popped in, or as well. Official Cube Man. I feel like Official has been here vibing with us. We got CJ Trex. Who's up top? No one.
Mm-hmm.
Vin, we got Tang still there, rocking the Mew. Thank you all, Kyle. Good to see
Oh
you.
man. Thank you for staying.
Oh my God. Sometimes I wonder how, like, I'll run like 4 hour Twitter spaces, and a lot of our friends will be there for us, and it's like really special. So,
Absolutely.
on that note, thank you once again, and to everyone listening on Decentraland. Just stand by. I'm gonna raid the next streamer and see what I can do as far as music. If Tang will take over, or if I will be taking over, much appreciated. Um, Want to thank our sponsors. Thank you, Dr. Drip, Boxboards, Meta One Designs, Songbird Collective. Much love to the Gold Guy brand, and of course the Baby Dolls. Thank you for hosting us here at Dollhouse. Thank you for helping me facilitate all this. I definitely couldn't do it myself. You guys give me the ability to actually focus on the show. While you party in the background, and um, just be good host. Thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna raid, so please stand by. Much love.